My final guest tonight is an 84-year-old man. During his long, distinguished, maverick political career, he's been famous for his outspoken views and the outspoken way of speaking them. In 1963, he reduced interviewer David Frost to a gibbering wreck of tears. In a recent TV debate with feminist Andrea Dworkin, he caused outrage when he told her to shut up and shave. And only last week, he sensationally renounced his peerage and left the House of Lords. I'd better watch out, and so would you, as we get to know Lord Morgan of Glossop. Knowing me, Alan Partridge, knowing you, Lord Morgan of Glossop. Aha.
No.
No, you're not going to do that. OK. Now, you've just resigned from the House of Lords. Do you want to tell us about that?
1 week ago, I stood up in the House of Lords and I said, "My lords and ladies, you're all arses. Goodbye."
Great. You've just published your autobiography. What's that about?
It's about my life, you arse.
Yeah. You describe your childhood in the book, and I imagine your life in Glossop in Derbyshire. I imagine a life of cobbly streets, of inclement weather, a wholesome existence. Is that fair?
When I was 5, I walked into the parlour and I witnessed my father shooting my mother. He then placed the shotgun into his own mouth and blew his brains out.
So it wasn't an idyllic childhood?
On the contrary, I was spared the ridiculous hypocrisy of family life. The only friend a man needs is the bottle.
Right. No doubt, then, if you're so fond of the bottle, you'll be quite pleased that we left a bottle of 10-year-old malt in your dressing room.
Yes, it's all gone.
Do you enjoy it?
Piss.
You can see why David Frost started crying.
He's an arse.
No. Well, I won't ask what I am.
You're an arse.
So, after childhood, what happened then?
Adolescence.
And what was that like?
Like childhood, but with more pubic hair.
Please.
I got you there.
Yes. Certainly did. Oh. Now...
You arse.
Please. Now, Lord Morgan, please, people are listening. Now, in Oxford, in the 1930s, you went up to Oxford to study the classics, and it was there you met W.H. Auden,
Puff.
Stephen Spender, and Cecil Day-Lewis.
Big puff.
Now, you didn't like them, did you?
Nancy boy communist pufter poets. Little puffy poets pouncing around.
Right, okay. So you didn't like them?
You arse.
Please, don't say that again, please. Please.
If you don't want me to say it again, I won't say it again. I give you my word.
Are you a man of your word?
Nope.
Right. And you've been very outspoken. You're in favour of hanging.
Only for criminals.
Right, but oddly, more recently, you've been an outspoken defender of pornography. Why?
What a man chooses to do in the privacy of his own attic is his business alone.
Right, but what about the feminist argument that pornography degrades women?
But is it not the case that sex degrades women? If it's any good. any day.
Yes.
It's true.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah. Now you're in Who's Who, and
I like those prostitutes.
I'm sorry?
I like those prostitutes. They were very nice.
Who? What prostitute?
Those prostitutes you had on before. They were lovely.
They were guests. You can't say that. They were guests.
They looked like whores.
Don't. Shh, don't.
Well, they did.
Look. You and I know they look like whores. You can't say that. Now, I would love to be in Who's Who, and what I've got here is my entry for Who's Who as follows. Alan Gordon Partridge, born April the 2nd, 1955, Norwich. Journalist, commentator, broadcaster and interviewer for Anglia TV's Sport Report, On the Hour, BBC Radio 4, host of Own Chat Show, Knowing Me, Knowing You, Radio 4 and others. Is that the sort of thing that would be an acceptable form of words with which to grace the hallowed turf of Who's Who's pages? No? I'll see that your own entry, you list your hobbies, food, whiskey, and your attic. I mean, do you eat often? Lord Morgan. Lord Morgan? Can we have the chief medical officer, please? Sorry. I'm very worried. Is there anything at all?
I'm afraid his pulse is completely stopped.
No, right, I'll deal with this. Yeah, I'll deal with this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great regret that I have to announce that Lord Morgan of Glossop passed away peacefully some moments ago. And on that bombshell... No, I can't do that. This is a profound moment. The only thing is that we perhaps observe a minute's silence. In fact, I ought to cover him. I'm taking my sweater off. I'm just going to drape it over his head. I've draped my sweater over his head to preserve some dignity. As Lord Morgan sits immovable beneath the hastily improvised Pringle shroud. It seems somehow appropriate to say, this is knowing me, Alan Partridge, knowing you, Lord Morgan, rest in peace. Aha. Please, 1 minute silence, starting now. Please, stop whatever you're doing. If you're in the car, pull over. If you're on the motorway, please pull in at the next service station and observe a minute's silence in your own time. If you're on the M1, there's Scratchwood, Toddington and Newport Pagnell, where you'll find a country kitchen. If you're on the M6, you've got Knutsford, Sandbach and Hilton Park. So, a minute's silence. I'll have to speak periodically to show we're still broadcasting. This is Radio 4. With Alan Partridge. Drivers on the M4, you might want to pull off at Chippenham, where, if I'm not mistaken, you'll find a Julie's Pantry. Minute silence. But in fact, I think we're running out of time. I'm sure Lord Morgan wouldn't mind if I encroached on his minute silence to read out the credits. I'd like to thank my guests, Tony Hayers, Trudy Skye, Yvonne Boyd, my team of writers and researchers, Steve Coogan, Patrick Marber, Rebecca Front, Dune McKeegan, David Schneider, my producer, Armando Iannucci. And on this very sombre bombshell, I wish you all good night.